Well, howdy YouTube. This is Chris McKee with Alamo Music Center in San Antonio, Texas. You can find us online at alamomusic.com. So we've reached the end of 2018 and man, it's been a whirlwind of a year. We've done a ton of review videos and buyer's guide videos and tips and tricks and rants and what have you that you guys have really enjoyed. And what we wanted to do was kind of look back and give you a synopsis of what my favorite reviews or videos that we did this year were. And I want to kind of give you a little provisor on this. For some of these, it's my favorite because the guitar was just phenomenal. And then on some of these, it's my favorite for maybe a different reason. Because the guitar was great, or it was fun to do that review, or it was kind of first experience, or what have you. So we're going to take you through what my top 10 favorite videos that we shot for 2018 are. So check it out. So the first one that comes to mind, and these are in no particular order, is Taylor's 914 CE V-Class guitar compared to the previous year's guitar. And the reason that this is, memorable and special for me is, this new V-bracing had just been introduced. This was my first crack at it. My first experience comparing it to the older models and really seeing what was unique about them, what had changed and what it did for the guitar. And I share in the video kind of this personal situation I had where I wasn't, I was impressed, but I wasn't that impressed until I actually compared it to the previous guitar and then was just completely blown away. And I own a 914 CE from Taylor. So, all of those things made that a pretty fun video to shoot. Check it out. Before we play this guitar and tell you what I experienced, because I want to be honest with you guys, I'm part of a lot of communities that are out there on the internet. A lot of you guys have had questions about this. You've been excited to hear them. I've been excited to get my hands on one of these V-Class guitars and find out for myself what's really going on. So yesterday, we received our shipment with this guitar yesterday from Taylor, and I was real excited, and I hurried to our warehouse, and I took the guitar out of the box and out of the case, and I sat on a chair, and I strummed it, and I went, yeah, that's a 914. These are great guitars, and they've always been great guitars. And I was like, that's great. I don't know that I'm really picking up on what I'm supposed to be picking up on. I don't know that I'm fully appreciating what changes have been made and what I'm supposed to be hearing. So I was real excited today to come in and compare it to the 914 CE. And I say this because there are some of you who are going to go to a store and you're going to pick up one of these guitars and you're going to go, yeah, it's a Taylor, it's a 900 series. They're amazing guitars, they always have been. I don't know that the bracing really changed that much. But if you have a chance to compare them, like I'm about to, you'll be taken aback. Or if you hear someone in close proximity, hopefully through this video with good headphones on or good speakers, you'll hear the difference because, wow, there's a huge difference. So let's talk. Okay, so another one on this list is another Taylor, and it's the K14 CE Builder's Edition. Now, this guitar has actually won accolades as like the best acoustic guitar of the year for 2018. And it's a very, very special model, and it was neat to shoot that because it's such a unique and just kind of amazing guitar. It was also a lot of fun because the guitar that I shot in that video wasn't ours. They had not technically shipped to dealers yet, so our factory rep with Taylor, the very infamous J.R. Robinson, brought that and hand-delivered it to my house in the dead of night so that I could shoot that video for you. And so that was a memorable thing. I was thankful that he did that, and we had a lot of fun making the video. So take a look at this awesome guitar. For 2018, this is the K14 CE Builder's Edition from Taylor Guitars, designed by master builder Andy Powers. This is a beautiful and elegant instrument that, to me, screams refinement and has just incredible ergonomic features and some really interesting aspects that you're not going to find in the standard line on any guitar from Taylor Guitars. So we're going to run through the paces, but I want to stress to you that if you tried to spec this out from Taylor, maybe through the custom shop, first of all, a lot of these features just aren't available, but second of all, it would be a very, very expensive instrument, well north of what they're asking for on this. And so, assuming I don't abscond with this myself and take it home, these are available, and so you want to grab them quickly if you want them. But before we get to that, let's let you hear what it sounds like. So another one, which is actually on the electric side of our reviews, that I had a blast playing and doing for you guys, is Gibson Les Paul Custom Shop, reissue 59. And we did this video to look at, is there really a difference between, say, like a traditional, just an off-the-shelf Les Paul traditional, and something from the custom shop? And I was blown away. You know, a lot of times I have some advanced playing on these guitars, but sometimes I just come in and shoot. And in the midst of doing the video, you guys get to see my response. And I was blown away by the custom shop and just decided right then and there I want to own one, because it was just an incredible, incredible guitar. Huge and open sounding and just full of girth. And so check it out. What's happening on this guitar is that there is a lot of treble in the bass and there's a lot of bass in the treble. There's this very open sound. Here's the closest comparison I can make to it when comparing these back and forth, and I really hope that you can hear it on the recording despite any compression that YouTube does as we release this. If you've ever messed with a tube amp where you can attenuate it, where you can switch the wattage output, then you know that going from, say, like a 10 watt up to like a 35 watt or 50 watt or whatever, it sounds like the amp does this. Like it just grows. That's what this guitar has. The EQ is wider. There's more bass, there's more low mid, there's more high mid. The treble has this nice roundness to it. And that's not to say the traditional doesn't sound amazing. This just sounds more amazing. And that's a feat. So when you go to Gibson Custom Shop, what you are getting is a historically accurate, beautiful work of art from one of the most storied manufacturers that's ever made an electric guitar on this planet. And I think it's worth every penny. I can't get one right now. I really, really wish I could, because I would take this home in a heartbeat. But enough of me babbling about capacitors and everything. Let's put them through their paces. Now, I will say this. As I demo these, I will adjust the knobs a little bit. What that does is that actually brings the capacitors, the differences that we're talking about, into play here so that we can really hear any impact they have on the tone. And we're going to play it clean, and we're going to play it dirty for you. So we carry Martin guitars, and I'm a huge fan, and this year Martin redid their entire standard series with the Reimagined standard series lineup. The 0028 has probably impacted me the most out of all of those guitars because I feel like it got the most, it received the most changes from Martin. It went to scalloped bracing. It moved to the open back tuners. It has this more delicate inlay versus the dot inlay before. And if I'm honest, I wasn't a huge fan of the previous 0028. And so I have now become a very huge fan of the new 0028. I desire that guitar now. And so that really impacted me. And as a result, I was kind of taken aback with the changes, really impressed by the guitar. And hopefully that shows in our review. And in addition to that, the bracing has changed. Basically, most all of the models in the lineup now feature scalloped bracing. This is one that I'm probably the most excited about because the 0028's been in the lineup for a long time. But for a small body guitar, I always wished that it had scalloped bracing, like the Eric Clapton version of the model did, or like the 0042 did, and it does now. So this particular guitar now has scalloped bracing, and many of the others do as well. The D28 that doesn't, it has forward-shifted bracing, so all of the bracing has been modified to bring back kind of that old world charm, tone, and feel from the guitars, more resonance, more bass, and all of that. You get antique white binding throughout all of them. And then the necks have been changed. All of the necks now feature a 1 3/4 inch nut width with a modified low oval neck profile. So it's not too wide, it's not too narrow, and it's a very comfortable neck shape to aid playability and make it a really fast playing, more modern feeling guitar to go along with the vintage tone that we equate Martin with. For this particular guitar, it is a 00 body. Now what that means is that it has an orchestra model or 00 body size. It features a shorter scale length than a dreadnought does or an orchestra model would. So it's 24 3/4 inch scale length. We have a vintage toned Sitka spruce top with East Indian rosewood back and sides. Like I mentioned, that modified low oval profile on the hardwood neck here. Ebony fingerboard and bridge. Black binding up the sides of the neck, consistent with it being a 28. Bone saddle and bone nut up here, as I mentioned before. And then these beautiful abalone slotted diamond inlay pattern on the neck. You also get this herringbone trim around the border of the top that really calls out that it's a 28 series and ties it in with the rest of its lineup. Tortoiseshell pickguard and 28 series rosette around there. This is available as a Sunburst model as well, and you can get it with Fishman or LR Bags pickups installed fresh from the factory if you choose to do that. All in all, what I have found with this guitar, being a smaller body, is that the scallop bracing really allows it to be more resonant. With a triple O or OM body size, you get more balance. It's not going to be as boomy, as rich, or as loud as a Dreadnought. Instead, it lends itself to very nuanced and balanced playing, particularly fingerstyle playing or light picking. And with the scalloped 5/16 bracing, it's more open, more resonant, and able to respond to the light touch that you give it. So let's let you hear what it sounds like now. So we did a lot of Taylors, and probably the last Taylor that I'll mention that was fun this year was the 614 CE Builder's Edition. Now, I've gone on record as saying I think the 614 CE is like crack. I called it a guitar that should be treated as a controlled substance. It is just a really good crack guitar, and I stand by that. It's a really good guitar that's maple, that's luscious and rich sounding and all these things. The V-bracing just gave it that more in spades, and the Builder's Edition of it is that in kind of this svelte, streamlined Lamborghini-esque package that is phenomenal. And so I had a blast doing this review, and we've seemingly waited on these forever, so it's kind of cathartic to finally get a chance to get these guitars in my hand and play them, and also compare them to the K14 Builder's Edition. So check it out. So this is a fantastic guitar. We're going to demonstrate for you. The combination of torrefied spruce and maple gives you a really wonderful, resonant, crystalline type sound. So all of the notes are very even. It projects very, very well. There's not a bad note on the neck, and it's very, very present. It's really just got a beautiful sound to it. There's the brightness of maple, but it's not brittle sounding at all. Now, if you've watched any of our videos, you might have seen another Builder's Edition, and just as a refresher, I happen to have one of those here. So this is the other one that they've done so far. It is a K14 CE, very much the same thing with some nicer, fancier appointments. Abalone inlay on the fingerboard and peg head, an abalone border around the top and along the back, and some beautiful koa. Now, I'm going to tell you guys watching this video, if you're drooling right now and about to pick up the phone, this particular one belongs to my friend Manny, and that's kind of been the story with most of these. These guitars have sold about as soon as we've gotten them, or beforehand. I don't know how long they'll be making these available, and it's been difficult for us to get them. So if you're wanting one, you definitely want to go to our website and pre-order one, so that as soon as we get one available, it becomes yours. So these 614s have just now been arriving. We're happy to finally receive them. We're going to demonstrate this one for you, compare it to the K14 so you can hear the difference between the koa and the maple on these two gorgeous guitars. Check it out. Around here, we call this guitar chocolate cake. And that is the Guild D55. We got to play the redesigned one this year and do a review for you. And we were taken aback by the case and the guitar, the quality, the feel of it, and just the richness of it. This guitar just goes on and on and on with richness, bass, sustain, resonance. It's chocolate cake. And we like chocolate cake. We are big fans of chocolate cake. So here is some chocolate cake. It's a mahogany neck with a strip of walnut down the middle, making it very stable. Modern truss rod appointments, medium fret wire, and a 12-inch radius. Okay, so all that to say, this glossy neck has a very comfortable shape to it. It's narrower than a lot of necks out there, but it's not too narrow. And it's got a 12-inch radius, which is a little bit rounder than you'll find on a lot of makes like, for instance, Taylor or Martin. So it makes for a very comfortable playing feel to it. The whole guitar is finished in a gloss sprayed nitrocellulose finish. So it smells good and it feels good and it's going to age beautifully. And it's also very thin, so it allows the guitar to resonate. And that's what this guitar does. It resonates, it sustains, it's rosewood and spruce, so it's got low lows and high highs, with kind of a scooped mid-range, but the amount of sustain and presence that is there on every single note on this guitar it's mind-boggling. To be honest with you, it's really impressive just to simply play. And I liken it to this. It's like really, really good chocolate cake. You ever have like chocolate cake? You're sitting at a restaurant, they put this giant, thick, tall slice of chocolate cake, and you take a bite and you're like, wow, that's really rich. But it's like, oh, that's so good. You're gonna need some more chocolate cake, and then the whole plate's gone, and you're stealing someone else's chocolate cake. This is the chocolate cake of guitars, folks. It's that rich. So. An incredibly surprising guitar for me was, or has been, the Epiphone Masterbilt DR400 MCE. That guitar is an all-solid wood behemoth at an incredible price. They play great, they sound great, it's just been surprising. And it's really nice to be surprised to the point where I'm double-checking specs. We do this enough that you kind of begin to understand, you expect certain things. So if a guitar comes in and I'm told the brand name and I'm told the price range that it's in, I can tell you with pretty close certainty how it's built, what its features are, and so forth. And this guitar just kind of completely undoes that entire line of thinking because it shouldn't cost what it costs. It should cost way more than what Epiphone's asking for it. And so it's been surprising. I loved it, and I'm glad that it's on our list. I'm glad we have it in the store, and I'm glad that Epiphone's making it. It's a fantastic guitar. Take a look. Okay, so the last one on our list is really kind of a dark horse, and so it's number 11 on our list. I saved this for last because I don't quite understand how Epiphone's doing this. This is an Epiphone Master Series, Masterbilt DR400 CE. It is a dreadnought guitar with a cutaway and electronics on it. And I had to check the specifications on this guitar 4 times because I figured I was reading something wrong. That there's no way that Epiphone is building a Masterbilt guitar with all solid wood, cutaway electronics, and selling it for $400 bucks. But they are. So this is $399 currently, the DR400 CE. It's solid Sitka spruce top. It's solid mahogany back and sides. Comes with a pickup system in it. Beautiful honey burst finish. It's got open back tuners and kind of mother of pearl inlay up here on the offset Epiphone headstock. It's great. You know, okay. It doesn't play quite as well as the Taylor, but it plays pretty darn well right out of the box. There's been no setup on it. Consistency has been pretty spot on all these guitars, and the Masterbilts are meant to be the very best guitars, archtop or acoustics from Epiphone. And it's really just a great guitar. This might be the best value under $1,000 in any acoustic guitar. Now, there's going to be some of you who say, you know, I tried one, I didn't like it. It's not going to be everyone's cup of tea. It doesn't have a modern sound to it at all. It's definitely more of a vintage tone to it. But it'd be one thing if Epiphone made a solid wood piece of junk. You know, you could throw a guitar together and say, oh, it's solid top, back, and sides. We're going to sell it for $400, but it plays horribly. You could, you know, use the action to practice archery or something like that. That's not the case here. This is actually a great sounding, great playing, lightweight, resonant, all solid wood acoustic guitar that is $400. So I'm kind of surprised. Now, again, that's not to say any of these other guitars we've looked at are less because they're maybe not all solid wood. But it's surprising how big of a value this is and the fact that Epiphone can do it. Now, here's one way they may be able to do it. It's made in China, okay? But so are a lot of these other guitars. So I don't know. I don't know. It's a great guitar. It's fantastic value for the money, and it sounds good. See for yourself. Check out the playing demo that we're about to do, and tell us what you think below. How's Epiphone doing this? Anyways, here we go. So we're huge fans of Fender. I mean, I don't know how many Strats I own, and I won't confess to it on camera because then my wife can go back and count them all. But I love Strats, I love Tellies. I'm a huge Strat guy particularly, and the Fender Player Series Strat that came out this year, which replaced the Made in Mexico Standard Series Strat, is phenomenal. For me, the color changes were great, the hardware changes were great, but the pickups, more than anything, really make that series now align more closely with the American Stratocasters that I've been playing for a long time. And having that available at that price range to kind of feel and play and sound that good is just phenomenal. And so I really enjoyed getting a chance to lay hands on those Player Series, put them through their paces, and really appreciate what Fender's putting out now. So here's the buttercream, as it were, Player Strat that I got to review. Now, some things that are taking place under the hood we'll show you in some photography that we're going to take here. But basically, they've changed the way the bodies are routed, which is really more of a manufacturing change, but something that you'll notice if you start taking one of these apart. And the pickups have changed. So the pickups on these are now Alnico 5 magnet pickups. And Alnico pickups are more traditional. The guitars, this Strat, for lack of a better word, sounds more stratty. And so when we do the playing comparison, what you'll hear is that the previous model, the standard Stratocaster, or the red one in this video, uses ceramic pickups. There's nothing wrong with ceramic pickups. There's nothing bad about them. I own 2 guitars with ceramic pickups on them. What they tend to have in comparison to this is more output and a little bit more emphasis on the low end and sacrificing on the highs, which is not something that's pretty characteristic of a Stratocaster or really any Fender guitar. And so in comparison to this, you have less output out of this. That, to me, in my opinion, is a good thing. I would rather have gain come from the amp and gain stages from pedals than have the guitar be too powerful and hitting the front end of your signal chain too hard. I find that with less output out of the guitar, you can play with more nuance, you can use your volume knob to greater effect and clean up and things like that. So that's a personal preference. There's a lot of players out there that feel that way. And with these new pickups, that's what you're going to hear from a tonal standpoint and an output standpoint. The setup's also different, I noticed on this. These pickups are set up lower, which is how I usually set up my guitars for kind of the reason I just mentioned. And there's also this physics thing about doubling and magnetic pull on the strings, hampering sustain and things like that. We're not going to get into that. But that might be one of the reasons they've set these up lower on the guitar. The changes to the controls are that you still have 1 volume and 2 tones, but the tones behave a little differently. This first tone control now controls both the neck and the middle pickup. And the second tone control only controls the bridge pickup. Previously, the bridge didn't have a tone control. It was this one on the neck and the second one on the middle. And so the new layout is really more of a modern wiring that's been popular for a number of years. And I, for one, like being able to put it on that bridge pickup that's really bright, and if I need to, just roll off on the tone just a little bit and get rid of some of that ice pickiness that can take place with the bridge pickup. Certain guitars are truly works of art. Now, some are very pretty and could be works of art, but some are flat out works of art. And the Martin D42 that we did a review of earlier this year really was that. It is very much an expensive guitar, and it is just full of ornamentation on it, but it is made to be this presentation piece. And it was fun getting that guitar and having the privilege to play something that limited and that special, and to also do a really cool video to kind of introduce this guitar to the world. And so I had fun playing the guitar. I thank Martin for building something so beautiful that sounds so great, but also our cinematographer Josh for doing such a great job making me look halfway decent while I got to hold this exquisite instrument. Take a look. Today I have the privilege to showcase for you a new limited edition guitar from CF Martin. This is the new 2018 Martin Purple Martin Dreadnought guitar. Now this is part of a series of limited edition guitars that Martin has been making about the Purple Martin. And this all sounds a little redundant, but hang with me and you'll understand what it's all about. This latest is based upon a D42, and it features striking inlays showcasing a Purple Martin. The Purple Martin is actually a little bird that's native to Pennsylvania. It's a beautiful little bird with great coloring and a beautiful sound. And it serves as wonderful inspiration for this guitar because it also, as an instrument, has a beautiful sound to it. The inlays on it feature the Purple Martin and the Pennsylvania state flower, the mountain laurel. It follows with this inlay on the fingerboard as well as the pick guard, and finally with mountain laurels on the bridge down below. The guitar itself is based upon a D42, but with special tone woods in construction. The top is made of very bare-clawed Engelmann spruce. Engelmann is a wonderful species of spruce. I own a few guitars with it, but it's harder and harder to find. This is a very beautiful example, and tonally, it gives you this wonderful played-in, rounded, mature sound compared to Sitka spruce. Rounds out each of the notes and gives you this wonderful bloom. It has forward-shifted scalloped X bracing, and it's paired with back and sides of plum-colored Cadillacs. Now, a lot of people aren't familiar with this particular tone wood, but this is a South American tropical tone wood, and I'll tell you some of the characteristics of it. Typically, a good variety of this tone wood will have this purple coloring or this plum coloring, and it is a very dense hardwood, often likened to ebony. In fact, many luthiers and builders like Martin have used it in place of ebony for things like bridges and fingerboards because of its hardness and density. But it's also great as a tone wood. Like ebony, it has a wonderful bell-like chime, great projection and response, and a very, very strong low end to it. So paired with the Engelmann spruce top, the bracing, and this dreadnought body style, it sounds fantastic. We have an ebony bridge and fingerboard with the beautiful inlays, this nice flamed maple binding on the body, the neck, and the headstock, and a mahogany neck. It's all gloss with nitrocellulose finish, of course, and high glue construction. Up at the top of the headstock here, we have an ebony overlay with the CF Martin logo inlaid in abalone, and some really cool tuners. These are the Schaller Grand Tone tuners with really kind of a satin gold and chrome finish to them. There's a Style 45 inlay on the back of it into the Cadillacs, and the entire top is bordered with beautiful abalone. The guitar has a wonderful sound. It is strikingly beautiful, and it is very rare. Like I said, this is number 43 of 50. So it's my privilege to be able to play this guitar, to showcase it to you, and it's going to be a privilege for one of you to own a special instrument like this. Now you get to hear the beautiful sounds it makes. Check it out. And then finally, probably my favorite thing that we shot all year long was for a terrible guitar. And that was our review of a 40 some odd dollar guitar that we bought from Amazon. There's a lot of people we run to on a regular basis, and since Christmas just passed, there's probably a lot more of you out there that purchase some of these instruments off Amazon. And these guitar-shaped objects are leaving a lot wanting in certain cases. You could buy good quality instruments, but there's a lot of junk out there as well. So we scoured Amazon looking for the best choice that we could possibly pick for a guitar to review for you. And we felt this was the best choice to do it in. And we had a lot of fun, and we did an honest review. I took the guitar out, unboxed it before your eyes, tried to tune it to pitch with everything that happened, developed an affinity for very, very large picks. We just had a lot of fun shooting that video and putting it out there for you. So here's a little snippet of that video, and I encourage you to go watch the whole thing because it's a lot of fun. Check it out. What things to look at that are important, so on and so forth. So let's see if this ticks any of our boxes on a guitar that we would want to own ourselves. Okay, so this is the largest guitar pick I think I've ever seen in my life. The pick. And just for reference, okay, I always carry a pick, like a lot of you guys, and when you can't find one, check your dryer. But this is a normal guitar-sized pick. And then this is bordering on a coaster. This is huge. It's like an eye patch. Let's see what else we got. Okay. Oh, I like this. And I wondered about this, and sure enough, they did include it. I have a pitch pipe, and I have a digital tuner. So I don't know why they would give you both, but they did. They gave me both a pitch pipe and a digital clip-on tuner. So we will see. Now, I will tell you that there's a bunch of different color options available on this guitar. And I picked blue because I have a thing for blue guitars. So there you go. And I'm covering up the headstock on purpose because, again, we're not trying to disparage a company or anything. And this guitar, I think, can have a lot of different names on it, to be honest with you. So it said it was made of all wood, and I can tell you it is made of all wood. I can tell you it's not made of all solid wood. It is definitely laminate construction. The strings are, we'll get a close-up here. Obviously, they're not in tune, and they're kind of rusted already, particularly the D and the G string. Don't you hate that? When you buy a new guitar and your G string comes rusted. Parts of the B and E string are rusted on it as well, so it's a good thing that they include an extra set of strings with the guitar. And there is a Strat button. There's a Strat button on the bottom. There's not one on the heel, so we'll have to tie the strap on behind the nut. And it's a, it's a blue burst classical guitar. I don't know, but we're gonna tune it up and see what it sounds like. So check it out. All right, so here we go. We covered the headstock with some tape, okay, just so you guys know what's going on up there. And we're going to tune it up using the tuner, and I'm going to play it with the pick. See if y'all can hear that. I think the bridge is ripping off. Okay, I don't want to hold my hand on the bridge. Okay. Not usually nervous tuning up a guitar. It's supposed to be a G chord, but the guitar is moving around all over the place as we attempt to tune it. I think probably because, again, it's really kind of designed like a classical guitar, but it has steel strings on it, and that's a lot more tension. I don't think a lot of people realize, if you're new to guitar and you're watching this and you've maybe wondered, hey, can I put steel string guitars on my classical guitar? No. So, assuming the top doesn't, or the bridge doesn't fly off, let me kind of, before I play this, give you a quick rundown just of what I've shown so far. It's not a full review of this guitar. The idea is you get what you pay for, but you have to also realize that there's a certain economies of scale when building an instrument, and it's very, very difficult, or next to impossible, to build something that is an instrument you can learn and play on for 40 bucks. If you're paying that much money, you have to realize what the seller paid for it and how much it costs to manufacture. And there's just simply a limit to what can be done. So, see if we can do a G chord. All right, we finally got it in there. So, let's play a little bit and see what we can get. The frets are so small. Okay, enough. My fingers hurt. So, their advertisement about easy playability, I'm going to shoot that out right here because you can probably use this for archery. This is like really, really high action. There's also another problem with playing this guitar. There's no side dots. So I kind of had trouble knowing where I was because there's no reference on the top or the side of the fretboard on where you're fretting. And about the only playable position because of the action is at the first position, kind of around a G chord. And the neck is kind of bent. The whole guitar, the geometry is kind of wonky. Bottom line If you are wanting to learn guitar, or you have someone who wants to learn guitar, don't buy them this, okay? Don't buy them that. Get them a decent guitar, because that thing, I can kind of play on it, and I've been playing for years. Nobody's going to learn on that guitar. What's going to happen is they're going to want to learn guitar, and they're going to get very frustrated, and they're going to do what I just did, which I did because I really don't want the bridge to snap on me. There is one benefit now that this guitar kind of has that old Telecaster players used to do. If you need a place to keep your pick, you can slide it right under the bridge because it's already coming off of the guitar. So there you go. Adventures in ordering a guitar online. Don't get a cheap one. Buy from a reputable brand. Buy from a reputable dealer, so that if you do have problems, you have someone that you can talk to, and know what you're getting. Know that you get what you pay for. That old adage is true. And beyond that, if you are interested in any other information, check out our other videos where we try to help you get the right instrument for your needs. This ain't it, but it would look handy hanging up in an Applebee's, right? As you order some fries or some wings. So there you go. Our quality, all wood, Blueburst guitar with a pitch pipe and a tuner and a giant pick. Peace out. So there you have it. These are my favorite kind of moments that we had on our channel, favorite things that I got to be a part of in reviewing or shooting and bringing to you guys. So I really appreciate that you tune in, that you watch the stuff that we put out there. We're doing this for your benefit. We really want to help you get the right instrument, find the right guitar, sort through all the chaos that's out there, and also understand kind of the truth behind the specs. Okay, so this has this nut, this has this pickup. What does that mean? What does it matter? Why does it matter to you? So that's why we're here, and we will continue making these videos as long as you guys enjoy them. So please share this channel, share this video, share some of the ones that you watched with friends, family, and fellow guitar nuts. If you haven't already done so, make sure to subscribe, turn on your notifications so that you know when the rest of the world knows and we've put out a new video. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.